First, every voice matters. Secondly, it's also about enhancing decision making. Thirdly, language accessibility. And finally, it's also about customer-centric approach.
So, hello everybody and welcome to yet another webinar of Televic conference. Today we're going to talk about our uniCOS family and specifically about one of our newest products, the uniCOS Core. My name is Stefan de Menk and I'm part of the product management team, and I'm joined here with my colleague Karel.
Hi.
And together we're going to go through this webinar together. Just some introduction. So this webinar will take about 20 minutes to complete. We're going to ask a couple of poll questions throughout the webinar itself. So stay alert, because if you answer all three of them, you have the possibility to win a gift card. Can't join this webinar today or can't fully join it, or you want to share it with somebody else, please know that you can find the recording on our website, televic.com/webinar. Also, we want to inform you that if you see anything, if you have any questions, you see something interesting, please scan the QR code here. This will go to a website where you can fill in your credentials, and we'll contact you in the coming days just to be in touch. If you want a personalized demo, if you just want to have a question, don't hesitate to reach out via this QR code. So, getting started, just some introduction on Televic. As you might know, or maybe you don't know, Televic is really known for providing conferencing solutions for large institutions and formal meetings. Think about United Nations, NATO, European Parliament, and much, much more. Here we provide the audio, but also the multimedia solutions for these large institutions, parliaments, city councils, and other applications as well. We're also focusing now more and more on another side of the business, the informal meetings, the hybrid meetings, where people just have a conversation with each other, both in-room or remote. So hybrid is really something that's here to stay, and with our solutions, you can really facilitate that within your meeting room. Overall, what drives us, what is our vision and our goal, is really creating a better understanding. We want to make sure that everybody is understood, that you can hear each other, you can see each other, and you really can have your valuable conversation with our products. And we do this in two different ways, right? One way is really by providing the best quality audio. We want to make sure that you hear and are being heard in the best way possible. But it's also about seeing and being seen. And for this, we're going to talk about our multimedia solutions. But before we do this, we want to talk a little bit about what drives you towards video in your projects. So what is your preferred way of incorporating video today? Do you look towards integrated solutions, such as our products, where you have really an integrated solution with video and audio together? Do you typically use PTZ cameras with a camera tracking solution, for instance? Or do you today try to avoid using video in your project because it's maybe just simply too complex to have something like that? And I'll give you a few seconds to answer before we continue and really talk about the advantages of having an all-in-one solution. And for that, I'm going to give the floor to my colleague Karel, who's going to take over.
All right, as explained, we're going to talk about our uniCOS and uniCOS products in our product range. But before that, maybe it's good to mention again that uniCOS is part of a broader portfolio of products within our family. And we go from basic audio-only units to wireless units up till multimedia units. Now, uniCOS comes in different flavors. We have a tabletop version, we do have a flush mount version, and we're going to explain you in more detail later on our core version. So what we have up till now is what we call the Pro version. We will introduce you right now the core version. Next to the 3 uniCOS devices, we also have a 4th one, which is called, of course, the uniBOX. Okay, let's now maybe look at why we use a uniCOS device. Okay, let's look at the issues we see right now in meeting spaces. So especially if you have a long or large meeting table, it's not always easy to see the screen, especially if people are sitting in front of you. So having a clear view or having a clean line of sight is an issue that we can solve with uniCOS. By providing a uniCOS and an individual screen, you can just look in front of you and have all details right away. But also the opposite way, if the camera needs to bring you in the picture and people are sitting in the line of sight, this can also cause issues. So by providing uniCOS with an integrated camera, you are in the picture and looking right in front of your face. So no camera that is filming you from a wrong direction, it's always right in the right direction. So uniCOS can provide both the line of sight to the display and also the viewing angle from the camera towards you. Okay, now uniCOS is part of our complete product range. So it's our premium product that can provide an all-in-one solution with camera, tiltable screen, microphone and speaker. If we have a look at the details, so we have first of all our uniCOS Pro T, so this is a tabletop version, where we do have, of course, the integrated camera. We do have the microphone that can be provided in different lengths. We do have a built-in speaker so that you can hear everybody as if the person would be sitting next to you. The video display is a touchscreen, and we do also have the same but with flush mode version. So that means that this uniCOS, what we call uniCOS Pro F, can be built into your furniture and can be customized. So it's not only limited to the functionalities you see over here. If you would like to change the form factor, add physical buttons, this can also be provided with the flush mode version. Okay, now next to this, well, if we look at both products and we look at the interface of both, we can have different functionalities. First of all, if you log in, you will see your own details. You will see the details of the meeting and the agenda. You can have an overview of everybody in the meeting room. Also, if there are different political parties, for example, you will see them clearly, or you can filter them by political party. A chairman has a capability of activating anybody of the room. Can also take away the audio from anybody in the room. Next to that, you can also see who is actually speaking, who is in the request list queuing to speak. And on the right side, we have the possibility to offer you 6 Full HD video streams. So that's possible to select any of these streams right from your fingertips. Another possibility is look at the agenda, go through the agenda, and of course, as a chairperson, also activate agenda items. Voting, especially in governmental situations, is often also asked. And by providing capability of having up to 16 voting options, you can easily vote and see the voting results. Also, as a chairperson, you can initiate the voting session from here. All right. So next to this, we will now introduce a new uniCOS version, which we call uniCOS Core, and I'll have my colleague Stefan introduce you this.
Thank you, Karel, for this very interesting detailing of the uniCOS Pro. So as you can see with uniCOS Pro, there's a lot of functionality, a lot of capabilities of this product. However, what we've seen over time is that we got a lot of requests to actually specifically have more emphasis towards the video part of the uniCOS. People saw that we could do a lot with uniCOS Pro, but they simply, in some situations, needed to get a better viewing of, let's say, who's speaking and better interaction with UI because of that. And for this, we made the uniCOS Core. It has reduced functionality. It's simply viewing and being viewed with the solution and with a simplified design. If we look at the user interface here more in detail, as you can see, it's completely different from the uniCOS Pro. On the bottom right, you have the possibility to select your video feed, the video feed you want to watch. And that's the same with the Pro. You have a selection of 1 out of 6 that you can choose from. Next to that, you have the option to select the language which you want to view. As a chairperson, you will still have the possibility to do next in line of priority. And on the left, you have the possibility to change the volume of your headphone. And other than that, you have the rest of the screen available to see the active speaker, to see the presentation, or any of the cameras connected to this system. As you can see, this is much more slimmed down and focused towards video viewing specifically. And this brings us together into one family of uniCOS products. We have the Pro T and the Pro F, which gives you advanced functionality both in tabletop and flush mount version. And then, of course, also the uniCOS Core, which is specifically designed towards video itself. Now, that's not the only change that we made. We actually made a change to all of these products as well. And we started off with the improved camera. So we went from a 5 megapixel version on the older hardware towards a 12 megapixel camera on the latest hardware, really giving you a better quality view of the active speaker. Also in situations with a lot of backlight, this will have much better image quality. Next to this, we also changed our microphone towards our push lock microphone. And not only is this easier to install by simply pushing in the microphone, it simply has a better quality of audio as well, again, enhancing and creating that better understanding. So this is our family, but we're not done yet. And we also have the uniBOX. And the uniBOX really ties in everything together. You have all the tabletop or flush mount units in this situation. But in some situations, you actually want to have a custom design. And for instance, with uniBOX, you can choose which screen to connect to, which microphone, which buttons you want to connect to in your own custom design. And for this, we, for instance, work together with Arthur Holm that creates these very nice integrations with our uniBOX product. What do you have with this product specifically? Well, you have the microphone connector, speaker connector, headphone, USB, and touch connectors, but also the voting options, channel selection, and the HDMI output for the screen. And with this, we come to our second poll. And again, I want to advise you that for these polls, please answer in the poll section of our webinar solution and not necessarily in the chat. And the second question is, what's for you the biggest advantage that you have seen until now of our uniCOS product line? Is it the fact that we have these many meeting management capabilities, such as the voting or the delegate management on the Pro version? Is it the new video-focused interface that you think is most interesting of the Core version? Or the fact that you can have custom solutions on the uniBOX? I'll give you a few seconds again to reply, and then we will move on with the next section. But first, before we do that, I just want to give you an overview of the capabilities. So as we said, we have much more capabilities on the Pro version, on uniCOS versions, whereas with uniCOS Core, it's limited to viewing and the channel selection. So how can you integrate this into a complete solution? And for that, I will give the floor back to Karel, who will explain this.
Okay. So we can use our uniCOS, of course, in combination with any hybrid meetings. So for example, Teams and Zoom. And so how do you connect your uniCOS with the UC platform? Well, actually, as you know, we do have our talking head functionality. So the active speaker that is captured by the individual camera on the uniCOS. And that person, so the last speaking person, can be brought towards a UC platform. How do we do this? Well, actually, we use a video output box. So this is the V out you see on the left corner, where you can take out the talking heads and bring that to your UC platform. And on the other hand, you can bring in the remote by using the HDMI from your UC platform and showing it on each individual display of your uniCOS. So that way you can easily integrate with HDMI and with your Dante for the audio, of course, with a uniCOS system. Okay. So this is, of course, a standard hybrid integration. That means that the active speaking person will be brought into a UC platform. Now, if multiple persons in your meeting room are talking together, yeah, what should you do then? Of course, you could create a multi-window view. So that means that you can make or process a new video feed with all the speakers in the room. But this has a kind of a disadvantage that only the remote persons are seen on a big size, and only the persons in the room will have a smaller size. Now, we can now integrate our uniCOS system with Zoom in a kind of multi-camera mode. So that means that every active speaking person in the meeting room is seen as big as remote participants. So increasing meeting equity, which is nowadays something very important. So how do we do this? So we take the same setup as last time, but now instead of one video output box, we'll add other video output boxes. So if you would like to have up to 3 active speaking persons into your UC platform, in this case Zoom, you just add 2 additional video output boxes. And then you only need to adjust this or configure this in our Confero video configurator. We had a webinar about this a few weeks ago. So if you would like to see more details about that, please, I would advise you to look at this webinar. But actually what you need to do is you need to add the talking heads input group. And instead of adding it to one stream, you add it to multiple. Like if you would like to have 4 active speaking persons, you add the talking group not only to 1, but to 4 video streams. And you add these, or you route those video streams to individual video output boxes. So on the bottom side, you see the output groups. So video out 1, video out 2, 3, and 4. And so each video output box will receive the camera feed of the active speakers. So the last 4 active speakers will be sent to the individual video output boxes and then can be fed into the UC platform. And that way, you'll have a very engaging meeting where you always see the active speaking persons. All right, so brings us to the last question. And the question is here, what is the biggest new change for you? So if you had a look to everything we told you, is it about the new uniCOS core product, actually, with a video focus? Is it about the improved camera on the full product line, so not only on the core, but also on the Pro? Or is it about the improved microphone on the full product line? I'll give you a few moments to pick your choice. All right, so that was it for our webinar. I would like to again stress the opportunity to get in touch with our team. If you fill out the form that you can find here in the QR code, we will contact you as soon as possible, so to make sure that we can cover your needs. And then, of course, there are some new exciting webinars that are coming up. June 26th, we'll have a webinar about our general Plexus architecture and, of course, very important, the new diagnostics that are capable in our system. And then in August, we'll come with a new webinar about Confero interpretation, making possible to have multilingual meetings in a very easy way. Okay, so that was it. I would like to thank you all for watching the webinar. if you would have missed this one, you could always rewatch it on our website. So if you go to televic.com and you look for support webinars, you will find this webinar and of course all previous ones. Don't forget to follow us also on social media and keep or stay up to date by this way. Okay, thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.
First, every voice matters. Secondly, it's also about enhancing decision making. Thirdly, language accessibility. And finally, it's also about customer-centric approach.